Welcome everybody to Elevate Your Mindset. First class here of 2022, Cheryl.
I know, that is so exciting. I'm super excited for a new year, I have to say. I really am. And the opportunities and the excitement, the hope, and all of the fun stuff that goes along with the new year. I am happy about it, believe me.
I just love that clean slate idea. You know,
Yeah.
it really does feel like that every single year, that I just got this clean slate and I can, really make the next 12 months the way I want them to make. It seems as the year goes on, and things go sideways with things, we lose that cleanness and that freshness. So a lot of stuff gets put on the board as the year goes on. So it's a good time of year, though. I love this year where the slate is clean and we can really focus on what do we want to accomplish over these next 12 months. And Cheryl and I have said from the get-go, this is all about mindsets. I shouldn't say all about mindsets. So 20% of business is strategy, but 80% is mindset. So let's spend a lot of time on this concept called mindset. And we talked a little bit yesterday in our review class, Cheryl, about, that I was going through some difficult times over the past few weeks, despite what you think. And, but I did handle it extremely well. Like, I can honestly say all the stuff we're doing, Cheryl, is working. At least it's working on me. So hopefully it's working on other people too. And people are getting value from this, and really understanding that I got to make my mind right. Get your mind right. Right, Cheryl?
Yeah, get your mind right. That is the saying right there.
Awesome. Well, we're going to keep this next few weeks here business focused. And actually, Cheryl, today we're going to talk about having a business mindset, which is a great topic. I love talking about this, having a little discussion about this. People can type in the chat here if you want and weigh in on things we're talking about. There's also a workbook at the very top. You want to click on that, you can download it in the notes. But Cheryl, the main question for today is, why do people get stuck building their business?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. And I think you said it a little bit earlier. It is about the mindset, right? And it's also, I really believe that it's making that decision. Let's just say, so I look at it like this. If you've decided, I want to own my own business, and you go out and you buy a franchise, right? Okay. So, I'm a business owner. I need to act accordingly. Okay. So that's set. It's clear. You know exactly what you're supposed to do, and off you go. But I really believe that if you have a home-based business and you decide, I want my own home-based business, I want to be the owner of my own business, the owner of my own time, the owner of all that goes along with that, I think that the lines are not quite as clear as what you have to do, the things you have to do, the things that you have to make happen, and the things that, and really this whole mindset of being the boss. I don't think that it's as clear when you're building something from the ground up. And I also don't think it's as clear when you're building something by yourself in your own home, right? I think it's so much harder. So that's why I'm so excited about this today, Paul, and about talking about the steps that we need to take to really look at this as a real business, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Absolutely. And, so I may have mentioned this before a couple of times. I own a franchise of restaurants. There's 6 restaurants I still own. And it's just amazing to me overall these past 22 years that I've done that, how different the employee's mentality is to my mentality, especially through COVID over the past couple of years. It's just been craziness, but people who have an owner mindset, they'll do whatever it takes to stay open. I know Steve and Michelle, hats off to them, because they just did, you have no idea what they had to go through to keep the doors open the past couple of years, just because of all the craziness with COVID. So, you were in that fighting mentality and everyone relies on you. Like, I feel a ton of pressure sometimes being an owner, and it does take responsibility. Cheryl, I know Jonathan owns a law firm, her husband, and he has people working for him, so he feels responsible for those people too. And so it is a big undertaking. But
Yeah.
what I've noticed, and this is true at any business, that the employees just don't want it as bad as the owner wants it. So when we talk about
They don't have as much they don't have as much invested, Paul.
no,
They don't have anything really invested except the time that they're going to be working for the boss,
yeah.
right?
And I firmly believe that, employees pretend to work and employers pretend to pay. What I mean by that is employees just do as much as they really need to do to not lose their job.
Yeah.
Typically. Now, of course, there's some employees that go over and beyond, but as a rule, and it's just, looking, they're waiting for instructions. They're waiting for something to happen, and they're to be told what to do like every moment is a lot of, I mean, even the managers I have, I'm like, wow, you've been with me for 15 years and you still asking me that question. Like, they just don't have that mindset of being the owner and having things run the right way.
Well, because Paul, when you're the owner, who are you going to ask? There's no one to ask.
Yeah.
You figure it out.
No one's coming.
Yeah, no one's coming. That's absolutely right. And I think when you change your mindset to, hey, you're the owner of your own business, then guess what? The buck stops there, right? You and I have talked about this. There's no one to blame. There's nobody to look to. There's nobody to call, right? It's you. And you have to figure it out, and you have to, and I think, but changing that mindset is such a blessing when people do that and understand and even become aware that, oh my goodness, I have to change my mindset when I'm the boss, right? And everybody thinks they want to be the boss. And a lot of times it's not that fun to be the boss, right?
Yeah, but it is rewarding.
Well, it is rewarding. Absolutely. But I just think that becoming aware of that and knowing will help us all immensely, that we are the boss of our own business.
Yep, absolutely. And we all have grown up being employees. I mean, we've all had jobs. I had a bunch of jobs younger. And so I spent a lot of time experiencing what it is to be an employee. And then to be thrown in the other side, of the fence, and I got a whole different perspective on businesses and work, obviously of all types, from being an owner of a business now. And, but, as Cheryl was saying about running a home-based business. So a lot of us have the mindset of an employee because we've been that probably your whole life. You've been an employee, but then you decide to do this thing on the side. I'm going to start my own little business. I'm going to give this thing a try over here. So it's kind of like that side hustle mindset, that still an employee, but I'm going to do this thing on the side and try it out, see how it goes. Not sure if it's going to work or not. So those people, Cheryl, have low expectations. They're not really expecting to become real rich or anything like that, but I'm gonna give it a shot. They have distracted energy. So anything else that comes up, I mean, with the restaurants, it was never like that. It's always that comes first. Doesn't matter what's in the world's going on. That's got to come, so other people don't have that, put it as high as a priority of their business because they have this side hustle mentality and really no plan, no goals, that kind of things.
Yeah. And I also think that, that the side hustle mindset is, well, I'm going to take a look at everything and I'm going to decide if I think it's too hard. Now, if it's too hard, then I'm not going to be able to do that. But I'm going to do what I want to do and what I like and what I think is easier than something else. So I think that's another mindset for somebody who's considering this just as a side hustle. And let me tell you, I honestly believe there's nothing wrong with that. But I think you have to get clear on what it is you want to do. Do you just want to be employed by somebody else? Wonderful. But do you want to just do this as a side hustle, part-time? Look, side hustlers aren't going to kill themselves to make their life better. This is just let's, just like Paul said, let's just see, let's just have a look. I don't want to do the hard stuff, but I'll do a couple of things and see if perhaps that turns out well for me. Right. And so but for you to know what it is you want to do and to make that clear distinction for yourself, I think will help you immensely this year in moving forward with your business, however you want to.
Yeah, absolutely. And having the mindset of an owner doesn't mean that you're working full time. You can still be an owner of a business and work it part time, but you're having that owner mindset. And that's what we're going to go over today, Cheryl, is that owner's mindset. So let's talk a little bit about, what does an owner think? How is their mindset different than people who are an employee or have a side hustle mindset?
Well, the first thing is kind of what I said a little bit earlier, that you're responsible for your business and for the things that go on in your business, right? I think that that's a big one, because when you're an employer, or even when you're doing this part-time, you can always look to somebody else, to why things aren't working out for you. But I think a boss mindset, like, Paul, who do you call if something's not working out at your restaurant?
Todd. Yeah.
Nobody. Yeah, exactly.
He's my go-to.
Yeah, that's right.
Please, God, help me through this.
Yeah, you start praying. That's exactly right. So it's the same way. So I think that's one of the biggest things, is just understanding that you are responsible for your own business.
Yeah, it's literally saying to yourself, I am the boss, and really taking ownership of that, like Cheryl just mentioned. And even you're calling yourself the CEO of my business, so you're really looking at it like as if you had a brick and mortar, huge Fortune 500 company. You got to have that mindset going into it, no matter how big or small your business is. The owner's mindset works for all of it, but it's just getting this mindset that's such a key in being successful, especially being a health coach. So we're always looking for three things. We're always looking for, an owner is always looking for new clients, new coaches, and new CEOs. So there's three different ways you can be in the Institute of Holistic Health. Of course, 80% of the people are clients of ours. So the vast majority of people in the world just want to be clients. They want to be customers, and it works the same way for restaurants or any other business in the world. People just want to come and eat some great food. So that's 80%. And there's 15% that actually want to be an employee or work for that company, and have that side hustle mentality that I'm going to do this on the side. And then there's 5%, there's 5 people out of every 100 that really have this CEO owner's mindset. And obviously those are the people you want to focus on, but you have to know that all three of those types of people will be in your business. You're mostly clients. Some people having the mindset of a side hustle, and then, a handful of people being the CEO, having the owner's mindset. What else is it as a part of the owner's mindset, Cheryl?
Well, one of my favorite ones is that you're going to set your goals for your business, and you are absolutely never going to quit on them, no matter what happens, right? You set your goals, you do your review once a week and figure out, hey, how am I doing on my goals? Did I reach the goals that I set for this week? Did I, if not, then how can we, what do we need to do to make sure that next week we've reached those goals that we've set for ourselves? And never quit. I love that, Paul. I mean, I love the whole analogy about the hitting the tree 5 times a day, right? So hitting the tree with the axe 5 times a day. And listen, don't hit it once and then go, oh, well, there's another tree out there. It didn't fall down. It didn't fall down in my 1 or 2 hits. So then you move to a new tree. And then all you have at the end of a year is a lot of trees with scars on each tree. And I really believe that, yeah, there's the scars on the trees, but I believe that you're scarred much more, because it's like you quit. You quit. And each time you quit, I think it hurts you. It hurts me. I really don't like to quit at all. And I am huge at teaching that and talking about that too, is this idea of quitting. Once you make your decision, then just don't quit, no matter what. I mean, will it be hard? Sure, of course, but what isn't hard? And what worth having is easy? Nothing I've ever found.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I love this idea of setting the goals and then just never quitting on yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just, for your business, but you have these goals that you want to reach. Now, how you get there can change. you might come up with a new idea and I'm going to try this over here. But if you want to build $1 million business, that's the goal. That's what you don't quit on. You can change your approach and things like that as you go along, but it's just not quitting on the dream, living that vision board that you've all made and saying one way or the other, I'm going to get to that vision. So the map can change, but the result can't change. And Cheryl, I think the next one's the biggest one, and that's I will do whatever it takes to reach my financial and freedom goals. And that is, it's my favorite song. It's my mantra. It's whatever it takes. What are you doing today? Whatever it takes. Because you got to want it that bad.
Well, and I think too, Paul, understanding that whatever it takes, understanding what that is, right? Because a lot of times we're like, listen, I am working so hard and I feel like I'm getting nowhere. I feel like I'm working much harder than what my paycheck shows, right? Which that's the way it's set up, because at some point, the tables will turn and you'll get paid way more than the amount of work you're doing. But until that happens, then it's all about you, again, setting those goals, financial goals, the goals of, for me, freedom is my biggest, freedom to me is unbelievable in every sense of the word. Freedom to choose what I want for myself and for my family. And I think that that's why everybody wants a home-based business. I think that's at least one of their goals, right? And so by never quitting on that, and by setting those goals and understanding what they are, understanding them and setting them and knowing what it is you want and knowing what it takes to get there. I think a lot of times, Paul, people are like, I'm trying as hard as I can, but I don't feel like I'm getting there, right? And so it's like, but understanding that it takes, time along with action.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One of the tricks I kind of learned back in 2021 that's worked awesome for me is there's times during the day where I'm like tired, and I can imagine people who have jobs, who are employees working their business, part-time, you got family, you got your job, you got all these other things going on, plus you're trying to build a business. So there's a lot going on and people can just be like, I'm tired. You're kind of worn out, you're overwhelmed and you got so much going on and you couldn't spend the time that you wanted on your business. But that saying, whatever it takes is super important. And what I say to myself when I run into this low energy mode, like I'm going to call it quits for today. Whenever I say that, my new saying to myself is, my mindset is, find another gear. Find another gear. And I know that there's another gear inside of me. There's always another gear inside of you. You think you're tired. You ain't tired. You ain't even started yet. So when you start building this mentality that there's another gear inside of me, you will find that energy inside of you to, and energy doesn't come from sleeping a lot or eating or all these other things that people think energy comes from. Energy comes from mindset. That's where energy comes from. And that's super important to keep that in mind. So we want to talk about, the proven path. We went over this yesterday, but we're talking about actions that duplicate. So when you're building your business with that owner mentality, you're talking to people, you're talking to clients, you're talking to other coaches, talking to other CEOs. And when a client of yours who's thinking about becoming a coach sees what you're doing with them, that's what they're going to want to do. So you want to make sure every single thing you're doing is duplicatable. So I always ask myself, could someone else do what I'm just doing right now? If the answer is no, I stop doing it, because I understand the real key to business is not sales, it's duplication. So finding 2 new people every day, anyone can do that. Sharing something. So we share the health evaluation, we share Dead Doctors Alive or the documentary or one of the videos. So are we sharing things, following up with people, making sure that we don't just do health evaluations, but actually calling them back, then enrolling them, getting in the business, coaching them, inviting them to learn more about becoming a health coach, guiding them through the health coaching program when they join, and then leading them. Once they're out, we do every Thursday, we teach Elevate Your Leadership, which that is the end all be all, is to become a great leader. So with every business out there, there's a set of, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 9 things that you got to do every single day. So this is the proven path. Now there's people who use all kinds of paths out there. And again, the path can change, and people may find other things to do it. But in 25 years, these 8 things I am 1,000% sure about. That if you don't do one of these 8 things, you will not be successful, period, the end. And people may call them different things or something, but these are the 8 things that you need to do. So Cheryl, let's talk a little bit about daily touches. So you're spending time with people that are not in your business. They're not clients of yours, they're not coaches, they're not CEOs, but you're going out there and meeting and greeting and touching people.
Yeah, people that are super successful, and that's like the top people, right? The people, and that's who we all aspire to be. All of us, especially as we're building our own businesses, I think that we want to have that freedom, right? That's really what it's all about. So with the daily touches, oh my gosh, so 20 per day, Paul. Oh my gosh, that seems like a lot to me, but it's super important. And so they're saying that the 20 a day is what you need. Now I love on our one sheet, it talks about the power of one. And I love that because that's enroll 1 per week, which is 4 per month, right? And I think that is really doable, but I do believe that you have got to touch these people to find those 4, right? I mean, that's just the way it is. So that's one of the things. And then also daily nurtures. So daily nurtures are people who are already in your business. Those are the people that are either clients, coaches, or CEOs. And that is super important. So there's 10, I believe, of those every day that are necessary. And just think about this, you guys. How many are you doing? Like, are you close to that? Like, I had to have a real good look at this and see how close I was to these different things. But it's just this is like where the action, where I always say where the rubber hits the road, because this is where the action is taking place in our everyday lives. So those are 2 of them, Paul. And then the last one is income producing activities.
Right. So we're using some different terminology here than we've used before. So touches means someone that's not in the business. Nurtures means someone who's in, being a client or a coach or a CEO, doesn't matter. They're just they all count for nurtures. So you're nurturing someone, moving them along. And then the income producing activities that Cheryl just mentioned, things like making a social media post. Not necessarily you're touching someone, but it could lead to sales. And we all need to do that. Attending networking events, joining a Facebook group. Again, not necessarily touching one person, so it doesn't count as a touch, but it's something that could produce more income. So that counts as an income producing activity. And coming to our podcast really is an income producing activity. It helps you with your mindset, and your mindset gets better, your income's going to get better. So we do want to encourage people to come to our mindset classes and also our leadership classes that I think will help you in business immensely. So there is a planner there. You can click on that PDF, and it's a paper planner for those of you who like paper. That's there. I like using Notion myself. I keep track of all my touches, all my nurtures, and all my income producing activities in Notion, so and it tallies them super easily. And I can go back and look at them and see, what's gone good, what didn't go so good, and where do I need to spend more time and energy on. And then Cheryl, there's some 3 questions on the bottom of this sheet that I think are fantastic to ask yourself, and everyone that owns a business should ask themselves these 3 questions at the end of the day.
Yeah, I totally agree, Paul. And it's good. And then write down how you're feeling. So the first one is, how do I feel about my day? What wins did I experience? We've got to remember that, Paul. I am the best at forgetting, good and bad. Yeah. Right. I just forget. And I think it's so amazing to be able to write those down and then go back and look and see.
Yeah, I'm super good at remembering the bad. I remember things that didn't happen today, as everyone else is. So I love this question because what wins did I experience today? So when you ask yourself that, you're typing that into Google, what wins did I experience today? So your mind's going to start searching for wins. And it's so amazing. I can come up with like 10 or 15 super fast. Like I got my workout in, I got my water and I did this, I did that. I got to personal growth done. I taught a class, so I got a ton of things I've done every day that I wasn't necessarily recognizing as being wins. So every single little thing you do is a win. And the key is to write all these things down so that you, at the end of the day, you feel good. I think, Cheryl and I are 1,000% into the law of attraction. And the key to the law of attraction, the key to getting the things you want in life is feeling good. That's it. That's really your job in life, is to feel good all the time. So once you start thinking about what's wrong and what I didn't do, then you start thinking bad. You get into this bad kind of mindset. So it's so important, Cheryl, to recognize the wins.
Huh.
But then also in a kind way, ask yourself, because everything in life is a learning experience. What did I learn about today?
Yep, I love that. So what did you learn? And that's super important too. And learning a lot of times comes from failing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just something that happens.
Well,
And
I learned not to
totally
do
fine.
that again,
Yeah,
I'll
exactly.
say that often. So it's great, and that what that will do is it will bring new awareness, and meaning to or you can ask yourself, what will the new awareness mean for my future? So it's a great question. Now that I'm aware of this, and then I had this quote unquote bad thing happen or something I didn't do, that awareness is going to make your future better, because you won't do that tomorrow. Then, you got awareness that was the problem today. And the last but not least, what's the third question, Cheryl?
The third one is, what do I appreciate about my life and the journey that I am on? Which I love that one because it all goes back, I think, to gratitude.
Yeah.
Right. So, which is, we all know, is super important.
Yeah. Yeah. And we don't just say this, to say it. Like, we literally want you to do this. Cheryl and I do this every single day. Cheryl actually is going to text me every single day now and say, what did I appreciate about my life and the journey I'm on? So you want to, really spend time, be serious about this, and make it a non-negotiable thing every single day that you ask yourself these three questions. I promise you, over the course of the year, if you get in the habit of doing these three questions, your whole mindset's going to change 100%. You're going to start rewiring your brain.
I love that, Paul. And I have a chat group with a group of girls, and we say what we're grateful for every morning, the three things that we're grateful for every single morning.
It's very cool.
So
Awesome.
I love that. And it really does make a difference, because you start your day out, and obviously now, which I love, finish your day with the same thing, with gratitude. And gratitude just makes everything better, is the way I look at it.
It is. It's a starting point to everything. So I've kept the gratitude journal forever, and I look back at it all the time, and it's one of my prized possessions. So to see all those great things that have happened in my life. So, okay, great. I hope everyone got some value out of that class. We really encourage you to have that business mindset. So hopefully we kind of drove that home today on 3 different types of mindsets to have, and that you can kind of examine yourself and, like, you know what, I haven't kind of taken an employee mindset towards this business, or a side hustle mindset towards this business. And I really need to start having that owner mindset, and your whole business will change once you change your mindset.
Yes, I totally agree.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Thanks, Cheryl. Great job, everyone. And we look forward to seeing you on Thursday at Elevate Your Leadership. Bye for now.